was, Rusev could have been over just as much as what Lana was. So I think they still have promising futures. It's just WWE have to let go of the past. We have seen this kind of thing happen so many times over the years with Lita, Amy Dumas, Edge, Adam Copeland, that whole storyline from 2005. Matt Hardy was paid in the six figures to come in and be involved in that heated rivalry with Edge, Adam Copeland, and we saw that took to a level where it didn't really need to be taken to. Steel cage matches, street fights, last man standing matches, whatever the case was, month after month. They were feuding. Then out of nowhere, here comes Kane, who had no business being involved in the storyline. It made the storyline seem to be senseless and have no sense at all being associated with it. And I was at a point where I was saying, what in the fuck is going on here? We first started with Adam Copeland, Amy Dumas, and Matt Hardy being involved in a storyline. Then out of nowhere, here comes Glenn Jacobs as the Kane character, and he has an issue with Lita and Matt Hardy and Edge. And then, of course, eventually what happens with all this, Edge becomes more apparent with Lita. I mean, it was ridiculous what happened in 2005. But the point was, in 2005, WWE were doing it, and not much has changed in over 10 years because they are still doing the same thing they were doing years ago, where they would take a real-life situation and create a storyline out of it. And it was at that point in 2005, I remember some of the conversations I was having with wrestling fans where I was saying, it's very apparent to me that WWE are getting very desperate when they don't have any ideas to create any storylines, where they have to bring in real-life angles to create storylines off of. And a lot of people agreed with me and concurred with me in 2005, 2006 when this sort of thing was happening. We've seen it happen so many times over the years, and the point is it doesn't need to be happening, which is why I've called this week's video blog on my YouTube channel, which, by the way, you can subscribe to at Jonathan Clark 22, Overrated Engagement, because this is obviously what this is. It's an overrated engagement where so many people are bringing up the same thing over and over again to Rusev and Lana. They are talking about it on social media. Everybody has found out about it, and it's become public knowledge. And that's the thing about public knowledge. If it's public knowledge, it's public knowledge. Does anyone need to be punished for the fact that this has become public knowledge? I don't think it has to be taken to the extent that it has been. I think it's really ridiculous that so many people have been punished, especially those who are involved in the storyline who don't deserve to be punished for what's happened here. Yeah, Lana may have Instagrammed something out. She may have posted a photo or a video on her Facebook page or her Twitter. But that's what you're going to do if you're engaged. You're obviously proud of this life-changing experience, this life-altering experience that just happened for you. And it probably happened within hours. And she probably went to social media within hours and posted these photos and videos and Instagrammed something out with the cell phone app. And then WWE found out about it, obviously became very frustrated. TMZ took advantage of this story. But the thing is now, I think what WWE are experiencing is a wave of jealousy moving over their heads, and the realization sitting in that Rusev and Lana now, because of all this, are more celebrities than they would have been by being pushed by WWE, and they could be the next ones to leave WWE and go to Hollywood to have opportunities on the big screen or for TV shows. I mean, it would be awesome if Rusev and Lana, say, got their own reality show like Donnie and Jenny, or we saw something like that happen for them. That would be funny. If we saw something in the way of a New Kids in the Block reality show for Rusev and Lana. What do you think about that? I mean, that's what WWE are obviously threatened by, is the fact that Rusev and Lana are going to be given more opportunities outside of professional wrestling, which wouldn't surprise me none, because it's happened for Dwayne Johnson. It happened for Stone Cold Steve Austin. It happened for the Divas with reality TV. It happened for Stacy Keibler, Kelly Kelly, Eve Torres. It happened for a list of individuals, which Rusev and Lana could be the next on. And it wouldn't surprise me none, like I just said, if they went the way of Donnie and Jenny or Nick and Jessica and got their own reality show with a weekly episode every week on MTV. Wouldn't surprise me none at all. Wouldn't come as a shock to me at all if this happened for Rusev and Lana. And that's what WWE, I think, are in fear of. And that's why they are punishing Rusev and Lana the way they are. On a scale of 1 to 5, when you talk about in terms of this being overrated, obviously, yeah, I'll go all the way. 5 out of 5. And I won't second guess myself on that, because I really think that's what's happening here. It's a 5 out of 5 rating scenario with Rusev and Lana having this overkill by how much it's brought up to them, how much it's been written into storylines, and especially promos with The Rock, saying that he was involved sexually with Lana. We really didn't have to go that far. We didn't have to get into the detail of the sexual maneuvers that were put on both The Rock and Lana when Lana got The Rock's hotel room key. It's just ridiculous. And I think The Rock was getting pleasure out of it too and really enjoying it, and probably took it a little bit too far. And if it wasn't The Rock doing it, it was somebody else in the way of Summer Rae, breaking away from Rusev and then going to find Tyler Breeze, who she doesn't even come out with anymore, which is obviously apparent. And by the way, WWE, it's not going without notice that Summer Rae isn't with Tyler Breeze anymore, and her absence is something you just can't cover up. You need to explain where Summer Rae is. Again, I'm not really a follower of Total Divas, so I don't know if she's on that reality show in the new season. It wouldn't surprise me none if she was on that reality show, but her absence has become very obvious and very apparent to me, and I want answers as to where Summer Rae is, because I believe she had so much promise coming up in 2016, and now, in her absence, I don't think she has that same amount of promise that she had 6 months ago, which is very, very obvious to me. I want answers as to what happened here with Summer Rae, because she is someone who obviously, in the category of people who don't deserve to be punished, she needs to be put at the top of the list. Even Tyler Breeze can go in that category, because he did really not have any involvement with Rusev, because they took it from Rusev and Tyler Breeze having issues to Dolph Ziggler and Tyler Breeze having issues, because Summer Rae originally wanted to get hooked up with Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler refused her, and then she went out and found Tyler Breeze, and then we saw this feud as an introductory rivalry for Tyler Breeze to be involved in with Dolph Ziggler and Tyler Breeze revolving around Summer Rae. Again, separating everything happening with Rusev and Lana to get Summer Rae away from Rusev when this became public knowledge, which is really what it all comes down to, is how much this became public knowledge and how obvious it is now that Rusev and Lana are engaged, and this whole idea of them going their separate ways is not really having a purpose of being reiterated on WWE television. They have gone their separate ways in the way of characters on WWE, but we know they're engaged, and we know they are still romantically involved, and they will be for the rest of their lives, or at least I hope. This doesn't become a divorce story posted 6 years down the road by TMZ.com, and obviously, with the 3 years, of course, being the magic number in the entertainment business, and 3 years being as far as celebrities go, that's probably what's expected by wrestling fans, is that 3 to 6 years from now we're going to be reading about a divorce story between Lana and Rusev on TMZ.com. We've heard about it from so many different celebrities over the years, and it wouldn't come as a surprise to anybody, even me, to some extent, of a separation between Rusev and Lana, because of how professional lives often get in the way, and that's obviously what it goes back to, is how much involved you are professionally with your profession, and we've seen it happen time and time again for so many different celebrities. But I'll go back to what I said here in the first few minutes of this video blog. If the finger of blame needs to be pointed at anyone, it obviously is TMZ, because they have overkilled this issue with Rusev and Lana, and they have overkilled so many different issues over the years with so many different celebrities and taken it way too far. We need to let the past remain in the past, and we need to move on. I'll bring up a quote from Vince McMahon when he said that the times have changed, and as a result of how much the times have changed, we as a business had to change with the times, and that's what we have to do. We have to keep the past in the past, keep professional and personal lives separate from one another, and we need to move on. But with how many people are bringing this up to Rusev and Lana, can we focus on Rusev's involvement in the main event now with the League of Nations and what Lana is doing, apart from this whole engagement storyline, which was first made public knowledge back in the fall of 2015? Can we really move on? I really don't know. But what it comes down to is that's what needs to happen here, and as wrestling fans, we need to move on. I think as wrestling fans, as millions of us join together in a legion at a support for Rusev and Lana, because there are those fans out there that do exist of Rusev and Lana. The Russian population, of course, overtaking the wrestling world at a support for Rusev, and every championship he's won, every opportunity he's been handed with. Undoubtedly, to me, he's a future WWE champion, regardless of how WWE may feel about him because of everything that happened last year, because of TMZ.com's news posts. But the thing is, I still think he has a future, and we can't give up on Rusev and Lana just yet, because promising things are ahead for them. It's just TMZ's fault for over-publicizing this and getting on our nerves. And it goes back to wrestling psychology. As long as sites like TMZ.com know things like this being publicized gets on our nerves, like the Chris Benoit story that was publicized by TMZ and PerezHilton.com back in the day from about 7 or 8 years ago. The thing was, it got on our nerves 7 or 8 years ago, and that's why TMZ kept posting it, saying that WWE needed to stop making fun of death the way they were. And this whole issue with Rusev and Lana is different in a lot of ways, but similar in a lot of ways too, and frighteningly how similar it is, because it puts me in mind of it, how it's getting on our nerves, and it goes back to wrestling psychology. As long as something gets on our nerves, it's going to be overkilled and talked about until the day we die. Until our dying day, we are going to hear about this. And what we have to do to correct this issue and to put it behind us is just stop talking about it. And if we stop talking about it, it's not going to be posted on TMZ.com's news posts anymore, and they too are going to have no choice but to move on, because they need the hits. They need the traffic on their websites. And if they're not getting the hits and the traffic on their websites because of Lana and Rusev's engagement, and they know they can get the hits on their websites from things that are being talked about, say, with Britney Spears and some other celebrity, or Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani, they are going to talk about that. They're going to talk about last night's Grammy Award show and its fallout before they talk about Rusev and Lana, because that's what's relevant here in 2016. But statistically right now, because of how much it's talked about, Rusev and Lana are over just as much as last night's Grammy Award show, and that's really saying a lot. And in my opinion, it's saying enough. I'm your host, Jonathan Clark, and I will talk to you again next week.
Like what you hear? Tell us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
It's a shame.